So it is that wonderful time of year again. It's that wonderful time of year again when everybody is upset and tense and angry and because of elections. And I keep hearing, clients and neighbors and so on, everybody's saying stuff like, if the one I want doesn't get elected, I'm gonna move to Canada. I'm gonna. And no, they're not. They're not gonna do anything. Our system definitely sucks. It sucks for everybody. And it affects real estate. This historically is the shittiest time of the year, the season of 4 years, period. Every 4 years, real estate kind of just comes to a grinding halt. It gets really slow, it gets really clunky. And then once we find out who's going to be the new one in charge, people cry or people celebrate, depending on who gets in there. And then everyone kind of goes back to work. And historically, January 1, like the day after New Year's, every time right after the elections, my phone starts ringing off the hook and people are kind of just like brush it off. Like, new year, new me, ready to get down to business. So if you are selling, hang in there. It's just a crappy time of the year. And if you are a buyer, hang in there. You can probably find some amazing deals right now because everybody's so emotional. And yeah, if somebody's actually on the market right now, you can probably just negotiate some really good stuff right now. So anyway, keep the faith. I don't know who we blame about this. I don't know if this is our parents' fault or our grandparents' fault or if it's our fault. But we, the people, are definitely the ones that got ourselves into this situation in the first place. And so there's not a ton we can do about it except for vote with our money, vote with our vote, obviously. But yeah, part of this rant for me is about a local bond that we're trying to pass for Warner Springs specifically. It's called Measure TT, capital TT. Everybody loves them TTs. And it's gnarly, but our school district has never, to my knowledge, pushed a bond through. And we have failed to even charge people the appropriate building fees and stuff like that to go toward our school over the years. I know of a lot of people who have built really nice, magnificent homes in this area, and they didn't pay a dime to Warner School for whatever reason, either because nobody was enforcing it or paying attention, or we weren't doing it that year or that kind of thing. So the situation is that the water has been super bad at Warner's for a long time. And we keep in mind, everybody, our campus is going on 100 years old. It's been there a long time, and all that infrastructure and everything like that. We just don't have the big population. We don't have the bonds. We don't have mellow roos. We don't have HOAs. We don't have all these things that could even possibly contribute to basic butts and seats in the school that the school gets, compensated for. They get compensated per student and per attendance and stuff like that that are completely, out of stakeholders' hands. And that's it. And so 14 years ago, it got on the radar that there are higher than acceptable levels of arsenic in the school's drinking water. And that's gnarly. And so we as taxpayers, whether we are aware of it or not, we have been paying for 14 years for bottled water to be delivered to the school. So the kids are drinking water out of plastic bottles. And depending on who you talk to, that's unbelievably unhealthy and detrimental to the health of our kiddos and anyone drinking out of bottled water. If you are curious to know why, I guess message me and I'll tell you what I know. If you don't want to talk to me, read a book called Boys Adrift. It'll break your heart, it'll make you cry. But bottled water and microplastics and stuff like that, that's a big part of it. So anyway, that's been the solution for 14 years. I believe the county stepped up finally and helped us to get a water storage system and then have water delivered, clean water delivered to the campus, that kind of thing. And so the bond is for like $3.9 million. And that sounds ridiculous. And everybody that I know is like, I had a well drilled in 1985 and it cost me $8,000 or whatever. And you guys know how it works by now. You know how it works by now. It's like whatever costs you and me, whatever it costs. I just heard, I got off the phone with a client today. He paid $75,000 for his well in Awanga. He had to go 700 feet, but he had $75,000. My well down at Garage 79, $8,000. Probably 20 years ago, $8,000. I just heard a quote from another guy in Sunshine Summit, a property owner. He was quoted between $18,000 and $25,000 for a well to go between 300 and 600 feet. That's phenomenal. That sounds like a really, really good deal to me. But we're talking about residences. And so if a mom and pop, regular people, they want to go get a well drilled on their property, they go down to the county. The permit costs almost nothing, probably a couple $100. And then you go and hire a well driller to come and do their thing. And it's whatever they charge, depending on how deep they have to go. Well, and that process is pretty quick. It probably take you less than a month from start to finish if you were on it. When it's community drinking water standards, it's a completely new thing. And our state of California, in all its knowledge, has swallowed up that responsibility to micromanage that thing instead of it being a matter of the county that you reside in organizing and issuing permits and all that kind of stuff. So I have a property that I have listed. I've had it listed for going on 3 years now. Many of you might know of it as the old Narconon property. And it's a long story, but it's because of its use has been more of a community drinking water standard, like more of a commercial use rather than just residential use historically. The well that needs to be drilled there falls in that state jurisdiction instead of San Diego counties. And I don't know how much it's going to cost to drill that damn well, but there have been environmental studies and repairs on the septic system, and we need your grandma's blood type, and like it's been more than 2 years in process. And every time we ask, we're being told, any minute now, we're going to have the permit finally to drill that well so that that property can be sold. And we can get, some new cool neighbors. And then the revenue from whatever is going on that property is going to help our community and our town and everything like that later on down the road. But in the meanwhile, it's sitting there empty and no end in sight because it's a state level situation. So that's what we're dealing with the school. And I know it's going through a lot of people's minds, like a well does not cost $3 million, doesn't cost $1 million. Well, it's kind of like if you break your arm and you go to the hospital and they fix it, and then you have insurance and you see the bill later and it was like $3,500,000 billion gajillions. It was that because there was insurance. And if you didn't have insurance and you said, oh, I don't have insurance, what's this going to cost me? And the hospital's like, oh, give us $500, you're good. Something like that. I think that that's probably similar to how it works with a school. But I also know that our school district is incredibly fiscally conservative. I really trust and know well the people that are in charge. Our school board right now is doing an amazing job. Um, and their superintendent slash CBO, she's their financial guru. She bailed us out of the school was about to be taken over by the county in like 2016, something around there. And she turned us around 100%. So they're very, very fiscally um, conservative. And not only that, but picture this, like, we let the state take care of it. Go ahead, state, wipe our booties and blow our noses for us. And we trust you. You guys take care of this water situation for us. Well, they have a completely different set of goals and agendas. And if we don't like how they decide to handle it and how much they decide of our money, whether we vote on it or not, they're going to be spending our money to fix this water situation. When are we going to run into Gavin Newsom and be like, Gavin, you son of a, we're never going to see him. And there's no accountability there, zero accountability. If you get something like this, I see it as like, it's our opportunity to kind of take matters into our own hands. And, we're going to bump into these people at Sunshine Summit store or pumping gas. And we're going to be like, so did you get a bunch of bids on this well? Is it really going to cost us this much money? You know what I mean? We're going to be able to look these people in the eye and put some pressure on them and ensure that there's a lot of accountability and that they're not going to be frivolous with this bond money. And I don't think it's going to cost that. But if they get it, they're not maybe just going to handle this well situation. They can update the electrical infrastructure as well. And if there's money left over, they don't keep taking it. They just go, okay, we're good. We reached our goal. Obviously, you have to set the goal higher than what you think it's going to be. So anyway, what else did I have to say about this? I took some notes. Let me see. Message on your phone. So, okay, where are my damn notes? Hang on. So yeah, just to give numbers, the overall amount that's being asked for is 3.9 million. The state has already said, oh, listen to this, you're going to love this. The state has already said, we don't want you to have your own well. We would like you to join in with this other established mutual water company, Los Tules Mutual Water Company, which is a couple miles down the road. So drill, pipe miles down the road instead of drilling right there on the school. That already doesn't make a lot of sense. I consider myself a person of Los Tules. I have a lot of history there. I don't currently own there. I know a lot of friends and neighbors that are there. I can't imagine any of them are going to be like, yeah, just tap into our water. That's awesome. At one of these meetings, somebody actually asked the state representative, great, you guys tap into our water. What if our well goes dry? What if we have an issue with our water at that point? And the state said, no problem, we'll just drill you another well. And it's like, well, why not do that? Like, why go through all this rigmarole when that's what is being asked for in the first place at Warner's? You know what I'm saying? Not only that, this scares some people, and I've had some clients that think it's absolutely delightful, amazing news. Little bit of a ramble here because of the mineral hot springs and when the Warner Springs Ranch was open, we had a lot of Korean families coming to the area. The hot springs are very important to them culturally And there was a lot of fun stuff to do here at Warner's at the time. You could go golfing every single day as a member at Warner's, and I don't think you paid anything, maybe $20. It was like nothing. So it was so much that I actually tried to start learning Korean just to, have sweet, shallow little conversations in Korean for my Korean friends and clients. So anyway, I had one, he was a chemist, I believe, from Korea. He sold his everything in Orange County to move to Los Tules, Warner Springs. And at the time, I had to give them the disclosure. The Los Tules Mutual Water Company, that, Hot Springs Mountain is right there, tallest mountain in San Diego County. Hot Springs Mountain, Hot Springs, Warner Hot Springs means volcanic activity. And things shift, maybe there's like a little, I almost called it a seizure, seismic activity, like a little earthquake or whatever, and the water quality will go this direction for a minute, that direction the next minute. And so uranium, long story short, radioactive uranium pops up in their water on a regular basis. And because they're a mutual water company, they also have to test more frequently and more stringently than mom and pop do on a regular residential. Like, we've been living here 9 years and I've never tested my well. Whether I should or not is another thing, but there's no like historic reason. And I see everybody's well tests when I do a transfer of a property for somebody. And I haven't seen anything pop up that would cause me to go, maybe I should get mine checked out. But in any case, we don't have to, because it's just us. If we get sick, who cares? When you're providing water to multiple people, multiple families and stuff like that, that's when it becomes more stringent, the guidelines and everything, the levels that are acceptable. So yeah, uranium pops up in this water. And my Korean client was overjoyed. He said where he comes from, it was considered highly medicinal, highly beneficial to your health. In any case, almost everybody else that I talked to in the world is like, uranium, are you kidding me? Like, it sounds so much worse than arsenic. And so the state of California, in all their wisdom, that's their idea. Let's tie your system into this one over here that doesn't have arsenic in it, but it has uranium in it. Great. And so, yeah, then this is not a joke. At some point, somebody in politics basically threatened people at Warner School to not make such a big deal out of this and to be sure that they didn't embarrass Governor Newsom in any way, because this water issue was starting to gain some publicity and some news channels were coming in to report on the situation and stuff like that. And they were like, if you make him look bad, it's going to be bad for you. So that's a threat. So that's our government that we're about to give all this power and decision-making power to, threatening this little tiny chicken shit little town in the middle of nowhere with barely 200 kids. That's not cool. So that's what I'm like thinking about. Like, ugh, our system, obviously, if that's how it is, our system really sucks. But what can we do about that? I don't know. What we can do about this is take some of that power back, keep it in our court, keep it to where we have that accountability and we're looking each other in the eye. And okay. Oh, I just got a message on my weird glasses. Okay, so anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, keep the power and the accountability and the natural resources, the actual physical resources. And, why do we need somebody hundreds of miles away deciding how our money gets spent and how we take care of our own kids, our own families, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, that was supposed to be a quick rant and it's not, but anyway. Peace out.